What up, my awesome listeners? This is Ryan Lee here, and today's video is going to be on the graph of the 9 to 5 scam by Ryan Scribner. Most likely I probably mispronounced his name. I probably butchered his name. I am sorry about that. Pretty cool guy, does really cool videos, personal finance, like a lot of the content, PC, protection, things like that. That does not go against me. There you go. Now, on to the actual video. Okay, so when he did the whole low pay servant thing, this slowly creeps up as you age. I 100% agree. It makes sense because then you would need to have your income to fight against inflation. Fight against inflation. That sounds funny already. But yeah, so that blue line, I totally agree. And then the high pay servant with debt, I also somewhat agree too, but the debt portion I feel like needs to be more realistic because you don't have that little debt. Most people have 30 plus thousand, 40, 50, sometimes $100,000+ of debt going for a degree in something that doesn't matter. That needs to be exaggerated to get the point across, I feel like. Or be more realistic, because that little bit of debt might be a little bit more skewed. Now, the third line is where I think it's very skewed, where it's kind of optimistic in a way. So the third line, the learn, create, mistake line, it really should have been something like this for the average person. With this is what I hope some question marks here, because this isn't guaranteed. And I know that he said that too. It's not like he didn't. He did. But to emphasize it more, basically, to kind of reinforce the idea, is that it needs to be somewhat more like this, where you're bouncing up and down with the hopes of having one idea that actually moves yourself up. Because you know how that old saying, most billionaire bankrupt 7 times? Well, they actually have to be bankrupt 7 times to actually get to that point. Hence, the zigzaggy lines. It's not like you have one good idea and boom, it pops up. And that's where I think that line is a little bit more skewed, which does make sense. Because here's the thing. With his line of work, you kind of want to market yourself so that people buy your product. Again, if you watch all of my previous videos, or if you listen to my previous videos, then you would get that business is business. I'm not saying business is evil. I'm not saying business is bad. I'm saying business is business, but you need to understand what you're getting into. And from his perspective, it makes sense for him to skew the third line, because he's selling you something at the end of the day. Either it's some kind of product or his classes or something. He's trying to make a business. He's trying to make an income. He's trying to make a living. Totally makes sense. Which is why the line is skewed. So I'm not saying it's bad, again, PC, and all that good jazz. So I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying that it's a little more skewed, where it should be more realistically portrayed for the third line. Now, the second line, again, the depth needs to be a lot more emphasized. And of course, this is not drawn to scale, but yeah, the depth needs to be a lot more emphasized. And then the blue line totally makes sense. That I agree 100%. So hopefully he doesn't copyright this graph, or did a patent or Something like that. I'm not trying to attack the guy. I'm just trying to say that it's a little more skilled, but it makes sense that it's more skilled because he is trying to sell you something. So business wise, it makes a lot of sense. Most people would probably do the same thing too. I mean, their income, when your income is based on other people's income, it makes sense for you to do something like that. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying that's evil. I'm saying business wise, it makes sense for you to do something like that because you need to gather people to buy your stuff. Otherwise, how do you live? And that makes sense. So that's pretty much it. If you made it this far into the video and you haven't subscribed yet, click on the subscribe button down below. Don't forget to ring that bell to be part of the mighty notification squad. And as always, you guys stay awesome now.